how can I communicate myself better when I'm speaking English? That seems to be the $1 million question, right? And if you are a non-native speaker, most likely you've asked this question to yourself over and over again. Every time that you try to say something, then you get stuck, or you say something and then you feel like, I could have said that better. Or even when you're talking with friends or people that are helping you with something, you just feel like, the simplest things cannot get through you. And so you feel frustrated, right? So hear me out. I do feel like I can help you, but before that, let me tell you a story. I wanted to have an experience of being in a country in which English is the first language. I felt that experience would add to the teacher I am. So I just came to Canada and I decided that I want to go full on the experience. So I decided that I was going back to college, right? And at the time I was worried about many things. Maybe I won't be able to adapt to the weather, or the weather is the main concern, right? When we talk about Canada, mainly considering the country that I came from, which is Brazil, tropical country. So you can only think about the weather. The weather, yeah, right, check. The cultural differences, because I've assumed that, yes, I would be facing them, yes. Let me see. Oh, I thought about the food at the time. Maybe that's going to be something that I have to get used to. And then I thought in many things, but the language. Wow, I was a teacher of English language. So I was quite confident in my ability of speaking in English, right? Boy, could I be more wrong? So when I arrived here and I had all this linguistic knowledge, right? I wanted to explore, and then I wanted to go out there and then talk. And then I realized that my message was not getting through. That was very frustrating. Mainly because I was, attending college at the time. And in college, you get to participate in discussions, or you have to give presentations on topics. And I wanted to perform well. I wanted to do a good job. I knew the language, but yet there was something with my communication that was, not flowing the way I wanted to flow. So I graduated, right? And I have to say that my GPA was quite good, quite high. I think it was 3.7. Yes, I am bragging, okay? I am bragging because out of 4, I got 3.7. I was working at the same time, and I was taking my accreditation because I wanted to teach English. So I think this is something to be proud of. So that's why I'm bragging. Anyway, after that, I went back to teaching, right? And at that time, I was feeling much more confident in my English skills. I had figured out what I'm going to share with you in a minute. And I kept getting the same question over and over again. So my students would come to me and then they would go like, "Teacher, I still feel like I cannot communicate myself completely, fully when I'm speaking English." And just a small note, those students, they were high advanced level to proficient level students, right? So the question kept coming. After being through all of this, at college, and then teaching the language abroad, I finally realized what is this that is missing, that makes our communication so compromised in a way that we feel like we can do it, but we can't quite do it. So just try to follow my lead, right? If you have all the linguistic knowledge that you need, and I'm considering the high advanced level, the proficient level, right? So when you get to this level in any language, it means that you can fully understand the language, speak the language, and write and function in communicative situations. I'm getting there. So we've been treating learning a language only and separately as acquiring more knowledge about the language. We've been treating this as learning grammar, learning structure, learning pronunciation, learning vocabulary. Yes, this is all very important. You cannot speak the language if you don't know the language. But we have 3 other aspects that we have to consider in order to communicate better in English. In order to communicate better in any language, to be honest, right? But as we are focusing here on communicate better in English, let's just say we need the linguistic skills. We also need the cultural intelligence skills. We also need emotional intelligence skills. And last but not least, we also need social intelligence skills. So when I realized that, it made perfect sense, right? Do not communicate only through the aspect of learning the linguistic skills, right? But also considering the cultural, the social, and emotional aspects of the language and of the person who is delivering the message, which in this case is you. So, my advice would be for you to try it out, right? I am sharing this with you, and then you can go outside and talk to people and communicate with people and start observing your own language, right? So you have the linguistic skills. If you're living abroad just like me, most likely you already have the language skills. If you don't have the language skills, you have to build them, okay? But this is a conversation for a different video. But if you already have the linguistic skills, start observing the cultural influence, the social and emotional aspect of communication to the language you speak. In doing so, a whole new world is gonna open right in front of you. And then after you've been through this experience, just come back here and share with me your thoughts. I'll see you soon.